In a quiet town on the edge of a dense forest, there lived an old man named Walter. He was a recluse, with deep wrinkles carved by time and a gaze that carried the weight of memories long past. He seldom spoke to anyone, and when he did, his words were as rough as the bark of an ancient oak. But it wasn't Walter's silence that made him the talk of the town. It was his dog, Brutus. Brutus was a massive, scarred beast of a dog. His coat was thick and unkempt. His eyes burned with a fierce intensity, and his snarls sent chills down the spines of anyone who dared to cross his path. The townsfolk whispered tales about him, saying he had the heart of a wolf and the soul of a demon. Children were warned never to approach the old man's house, and adults made sure to walk on the opposite side of the road whenever Walter took Brutus out for his evening stroll. The beast was known for lunging at strangers, his teeth bared, his growls deep and menacing. Many claimed he had attacked before, though no one could prove it. One stormy evening, as Walter sat by his fireplace, an urgent knocking echoed through his small home. He grumbled, rising slowly from his chair, and pulled the door open to reveal a young boy, soaking wet, trembling, and out of breath. "Please, sir," the boy gasped. "My little sister, she's lost in the woods." Walter's eyes narrowed. He had no patience for visitors, but something in the boy's desperate plea softened him. He grabbed his coat, whistled for Brutus, and together they stepped out into the rain. The boy led them to the forest's edge, pointing toward the endless darkness. "She ran in there. I tried to find her, but—" His voice cracked, and tears mixed with the rain on his face. Walter didn't hesitate. He knew these woods better than anyone. He turned to Brutus and said firmly, "Find her!" Brutus let out a deep growl, then sniffed the ground, his nose working furiously. Within seconds, he bolted into the trees, Walter and the boy close behind. The dog weaved through the dense underbrush, his ears pricked forward, his body tense with purpose. Minutes passed like hours until suddenly Brutus froze, his muscles coiled like a spring. Then he let out a deep, echoing bark. Walter pushed forward and found the little girl curled up beneath a fallen tree, shivering, her face streaked with tears and mud. Brutus stood over her protectively, his massive frame shielding her from the wind. As Walter bent down to pick her up, Brutus licked the girl's face gently, his aggression replaced by something unexpected: warmth. When they returned to town, the boy and his sister were embraced by their relieved parents. The mother, who had once crossed the street to avoid Brutus, now knelt before him, tears in her eyes. "Thank you," she whispered, stroking his massive head. From that day on, the townspeople saw Walter and Brutus differently. They no longer whispered in fear, but nodded in respect. And though Brutus never stopped being fierce, they finally understood. He was not a monster. He was a protector. And Walter, well, for the first time in years, he no longer walked alone.